Hey, this is Coach Mac, playfastfootball.blogspot.com. Today we're going to be talking about teaching passing concepts in a high school offense. For us, we are a no-huddle, up-tempo offensive team, so we want our concepts to be able to be communicated in short, precise terms to where we can be effective in the passing game, but we can also play at the tempo that we are trying to play within our no-huddle system. So for us, we have to teach passing game, or the passing game conceptually, to where we have to teach the concepts of what we're trying to run, okay, and then we need the kids to be able to fit into those concepts at any given position, at any given time when we change formations, and then we need to be able to communicate those concepts to our players in 1 to 2 words, sometimes 2 words with a tag, depending on if we're going to make adjustments, but in general, we want to be able to get out there and give a formation, 1 or 2 words, have a passing play, have a concept that we can run that the kids can understand, that can be effective moving the chains while we also still play at the same tempo. Okay, so what we're going to look at is teaching passing plays conceptually. Now what that means is, I talk about, in the article on the blog, I'm talking a little bit about Chris Brown on Grantland did an article on 3 different offensive systems, and you have the West Coast offense with Bill Walsh, and then you have Air Coryell's system, and then you have the Erhard-Perkins system that the Patriots use, and basically almost every NFL system, and at least in the passing game, is going to branch off of those 3 main ideas. And in some of those systems, what happens is you have a passing tree, and all your routes get numbered on a passing tree, and then the XYZ are the first, second, third call, so you would have 626 F-jet, T-swing, 835, F-angle, T-swing, and what happens is when you're doing those types of things, yes, you can elaborate all the different routes and you can come up with a ton of different route combinations, but what's going to happen is when you're a no-huddle team, it's very tough to communicate those things. So for us, we want to teach things conceptually. So we want to have the concept of a passing route or a passing play that we're going to run, and we want to teach that as a concept so the kids understand where they plug into a formation, and then when the formation changes, we can just have those players in the position to run those routes, and we can call the play with a simple name and a simple concept. Okay? So on the board today, I'm going to take a look at the shallow cross concept. So when we teach this, we teach it as a concept in general to where we're going to have a play side number 1, a play side number 2, a play side number 3, a backside number 1, and a backside number 2. Once we take care of those 5 positions on the field, we can go to any formation we want as long as the kids know where they are in terms of play side, backside, and as long as they know who 1, 2, and 3 are, we can run the play from any formation, and we can run it with 1 simple word. All right, we could come out and just say, hey, doubles right, shallow, and be good to go, as long as our kids know who's play side, backside. So usually what ends up happening is you would have a system where you communicate front side, backside, so it would be doubles right, shallow Ringo, doubles right, shallow Lucky. So we would give a play side so that they now know who's on the play side and who's on the back side. And then in that play side, we would also gear in our protection with our half slide protection stuff. We would gear that into the Ringo side or the Lucky side. So they would know who the play side receivers are, who the back side receivers are, and the quarterback is going to know what the front side of the concept is. So when you look at the shallow cross concept, okay, for us, we're going to do it a little bit different than most people do. All right, we're actually going to send the flare route, or the flat route is going to be on the same side the shallow cross is coming to. That's opposite of the way most people would do it. But the reason we do that is because in our concepts, we want our number 3 receiver to always be the flat control receiver. What that does is it allows us to go from 1 back to 2 back. It allows us to go from 2 back offset strong to 2 back offset weak, and always have the number 3 receiver in a consistent position to be the flat control guy. Now we don't have to tag routes, we don't have to give him the angle route, we don't have to give him the swing, the slide, the shoot. All he knows is he's number 3 in the route. He's got to be the front side flat control. And then that route will depend on where he comes from. We use a swing from a tailback, we use an arrow from a fullback, and we use a bubble from a wide receiver. But all our concepts have number 3 play side and a front side flat control. Now for us, it's a concept that works because we throw the football 15 to 20 times a game. Of those 15 to 20 times, only 5 or 6 of those are going to be drop back theories. Okay, so it's not like we're sitting back there throwing the ball 40 times a game and we're going to need to have a variety of different concepts to be able to matriculate the ball down the field in the passing game. We're talking about 5 or 6 different passing game concepts that we're going to look at in a game. Okay, so if we're talking about the shallow cross concept for us, we're going to break it down play side 1, play side 2, play side 3, backside 1, backside 2. So here's how we do it. Our play side number 1 in the shallow cross is going to be a 10-yard post route. Our play side number 2 is going to be a 10-yard dig or a 10-yard dagger route. It's really more of a dagger route or a bending in route than it is a dig because it doesn't come off of a post break. Our play side number 3 will always be flat control. So it's either going to be arrow, swing, bubble. Our backside number 1 is going to be the shallow cross receiver. He's always going to run the 3-yard shallow. So this way, if we're on the backside of a 2-receiver set or a single receiver set, we always have somebody that can run the shallow. Our backside number 2 is going to be a 10-yard corner guy. If we get man-to-man situations, that's a guy where we can, if we like the matchup, we can hit him on the corner. If we get split field coverages or too high structures, we can try and get one of those safeties out of the way so we can get a bigger window to throw the post into. So our backside number 2 is always going to be a 10-yard corner in our shallow cross. So what it would look like, very simple, it would look like play side number 1 would run the 10-yard post. Play side number 2 would run the 10-yard dagger. Play side number 3 in a 2x2 set for us is the tailback. We're going to short motion him to get some leverage and we're going to run him on the swing route. Okay? So we have play side 1 on the post, play side 2 on the dig, play side 3, which is the tailback, short motion now into the swing route. Backside 2 is going to run the 10-yard corner. Backside 1 is going to run the 3-yard shallow, and he's going to chase the heels of the defensive lineman. Okay? So what we've got now is we've got a post, a dig, a flat route, a shallow, and a corner. And depending on what coverages we're going to see, we're going to teach the quarterback each week. We're going to take a look and we're going to say, okay, we like it versus cover 3, middle of the field close. We're probably not going to get the post. Let's work the dig and the shallow. All right, if it's a quarters concept and maybe they're going to drive hard, the safety's going to drive hard on a dig, maybe we can get the post over his head. Okay? If we can't get the post over his head, then maybe we can get leverage on the outside backer with the swing route by 3, shallow cross on the backside, because the shallow cross for us will never sit down or settle. Okay? Now, if this is a right side concept right now, what we're going to do with the O-line is we're going to use half slide principles. So the right side is going to be man. So we're going to be man here, man here. The center is going to turn the protection back and create the zone side. So he's going to go backside A, backside B, backside C. Quarterback will be responsible for double reading play side inside to outside linebacker for his hot throws. All right, our hot throws are built in with the vertical or inside routes and the outside routes by the number 3 receiver. So we build all of our hot routes into our packages. We teach our quarterbacks how to throw hot off of those blitzes. If we're free releasing everybody right now in a free release getting 5 out, it's a double read. This either Mike or Sam blitz, we're going to have to get rid of the football. All right, our center's going to declare all the way back so we can take care of anything on the backside. All right, quarterback has front side inside, the front side outside linebacker. Okay, if we were to go into a 2-back set, we could do that. All right, if we put the fullback on the strong side, we can now go into a 2-back set, play side 1 on the post, play side 2 on the dig, play side 3 could now be this front side fullback who runs the arrow route to get the flat. We can take the tailback now and go play action pass off of our Zier play, and we could go play action pass, and now the tailback will have 1 to 2 double read. And now for the quarterback, if it's a 6-man protection, the quarterback now has to understand in a 6-man protection, it takes both of those linebackers to come to make it hot in a 6-man protection. If it were a 5-man protection, either of those linebackers could make it hot. So that's how I teach my quarterbacks. I teach my quarterbacks 5-man, it's either, 6-man, it's both. Okay? We could also take, if we wanted to, we could take the fullback and put him on the weak side. We could take the sniffer and put him on the weak side. That'll allow us to get the tailback back as the number 3 player in the route if he's a better receiver. And then on the backside, if they are an 8-man front, we can have backside protection from the fullback there. Okay, we could possibly get the fullback in the route. You could take him, all right, if he is backside number 2, you could take him out into the corner. All right, what we do for us is we leave him in protection. Again, we only throw the ball 5 or drop back theories. We only throw 5 to 7 drop back theories a game, so we want to solidify protection. I'm going to leave him on the backside here, or he can help back to the inside depending on where we're getting pressure from. Okay? A lot of that has to do with 8-man fronts, 1 or 2 high structures. You get an 8-man front, I'm going to leave him on the backside so I don't get 4 weak. If you get a 7-man front, 2 high structure, all right, then there's a good chance I'm going to put him over here, use him in the route, and go play action with the tailback. But it gives us the flexibility to do that. Okay? If we went 3 by 1, all right, if we were to go 3 by 1, it'd be very simple for us. The number 3 receiver, all right, to this side now, the number 3 receiver would run bubble, and he would be the flat control player. All right, so number 3 would run bubble, and now he's flat control, because you can see here, play side 3, arrow, swing, bubble. He runs the bubble, he's flat control. I can take the tailback and go play action, double read, okay? Or if I was worried about an 8-man front, and I was worried about 4 from the weak side, I could take the tailback and put him back here to give me a 4th guy on the weak side. I could still double read either Mike or Sam for the quarterback. Okay, if it was an 8-man front and I was worried about 4 weak, we do not side adjust weak, so if we get a blitz from the weak side, if we got 4 coming from the weak side, all right, we wouldn't be able to side adjust back there and throw something off of that. We don't build that into our package. So we have to account for 8-man fronts, 4 from a side, and we usually do that with our backs depending on what the backfield set is. Okay, so you can see there a shallow cross concept, maybe not the traditional shallow cross concept everybody runs. It works for us, it's easy to teach, we can teach it very quickly, and we can get it done in several formations. Okay, half slide protection up front, man side, zone side, okay, just in case, so you know how to teach it. If you ever get on the front side, the first uncovered man starts to slide, so if you ever got the nose there and the tackle there, all right, the first uncovered player would be the guard on the man side, so he would set the turn, and now you would have a 4-man zone side to the back side there to take care of 1, 2, 3, and 4. Quarterback has that, quarterback has that. Okay? So our hot protection, our protections and our hot throws are built in. We don't side adjust off the backside, so we have to be able to handle the backside with a running back or any other way that we can handle the backside, usually with a fullback or a tailback, because we will not side adjust. Okay? Just to take a look, again, something simple. All right, if you wanted to run, you could run the old flood concept, okay, the Y sail. All right, if it's air raid or different terminologies, flood concept. All right, play side number 1 for us is going to work vertical. Play side number 2 is going to run the 10-yard out. Play side number 3 for us is always going to be flat control, so that's going to become arrow, swing, or bubble. Okay. Backside number 1 for us will be post control, 10-yard post. And then if we're running the flood concept, backside number 2 will just be 6-yard spot. Giving the quarterback, if protection breaks down, giving the quarterback something else in the middle he can get his eyes to make a throw. Okay? So right now if we had 3 by 1 drawn up, okay? If we had 3 by 1 drawn up right now, play side number 1 would run the takeoff or the vertical. Play side number 2 would run the 10-yard out. Play side number 3, because he's a slot receiver, runs bubble. And now we have our flood concept, all right, to the strong side. We've got the top taken off, got the intermediate 10-yard out with the flat pressure leverage there from the bubble route. Backside number 1 would be a post-control player, so that if at any time middle of the field opened up, we like the matchup, we could always just tag it to the quarterback and say, hey, we want to run flood on the front side, all right, but we want you to throw the X post on the back side. So we can just hand signal that into him and just say, hey, we want to run flood, but we want to go X, and throw the post on the back side. So you can see it's very simple. Play side 1, play side 2, play side 3. We would still keep half slide protection up front, man on the front side, slide on the back side, okay? If you wanted to look, for argument's sake, if you wanted to look at 3-4 stuff, all right, for us, if you wanted to look 3-4 stuff, let's just say, for argument's sake, that team wants to be, all right, nose, end there, Willie, Mike, okay, Sam, rush backside. All right, what we would do is first uncovered lineman on the front side starts to turn. Okay, so on this side it would be big on big man. Guard is uncovered, he's going to turn, center's going to turn, guard's going to turn, tackle's going to turn. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarterback now has 5 to 6 there, depending on what we do with the tailback. If we want to use the tailback and play action pass, in here, we can now double read the tailback, okay, and now both of these linebackers would have to come for the quarterback. So it's built in how we teach our quarterback within our protections, how we teach our hot throws, how we teach what to do if we get blitzes. It's built in to handle both blitzing. It's built in to handle one of them blitzes. We can double read a tailback. We can free release a tailback. All those things are built in to our concepts. And for us, they're all things that are built in with simplicity. Why? Because we're an up-tempo, no-huddle team. Okay? We're a team that plays guys both ways. All right? We only throw 5 to 6 drop-back concepts a game, so we don't want to get too elaborate with what we're doing. But we want to have enough things that can attack coverage and move the chains. All right? So in order for us to do that, we want to be able to teach 5 or 6 drop-back theories, but we want them to be simple. We don't want to get too elaborate with a lot of tags, but we want to be able to attack coverages. Okay? If we were to change the formation here, all right, if this were a 2-by-2 formation, if this were our standard 2-by-2 formation, what we would then do is the tailback would become number 3, so he would short motion swing. The backside 2 would run the 6-yard spot, and now we got flood on the front side. Backside spot, backside post, front side swing by the tailback. Okay? A lot of times against 3-4 teams, I like to go 2-back. All right, because what will happen with 3-4 teams is if you free release a back, sometimes you'll get caught with just a 4-man pressure, okay? And if it's to the side that we are throwing the football, we may throw hot off of a 4-man pressure, which is what you absolutely don't want to do, because a blitz should only be a blitz if they send one more than you can handle. So versus 3-4 teams, I personally like to go 2-back myself. All right, I like to go 2-back. And what I like to do is I like to put the H-back in the flat on the arrow, and I like to put the tailback, play action pass, double read here to here, so now that if one of them come, I can pick it up. All right, so if I'm seeing 3-4 teams with a good blitz package and they can mirror their blitz package from both sides, I'm going to keep 2-backs in the game when I want to drop back pass. Okay, if I'm expecting blitz, I'm going to go with 6-man protection, double read off of play action, still get vertical, 10-yard out, flat, okay, but at the same time, I'm now getting a 6-man protection so I can pick up some of those blitzes, okay? So hopefully that helps you a little bit with teaching passing concepts. Once these concepts are taught, we can get in and out of formations real easy. There's always going to be a play side 1, a play side 2, and a play side 3. There's going to be a backside 1, there's going to be a backside 2. The passing game can be as sophisticated or as simple as you make it. There's several theories out there to throw the football. You have to make sure that you understand what theories you're going to use, and you have to make sure that you understand how easily can you teach them, how much time do you have to teach them, do your kids play both ways, how smart and how good is your quarterback, how easy do you have to keep it for your offensive line. I mean, these are all things that you have to keep in mind when you're coaching a high school football program. So for me, I choose concepts. I teach the concepts, play side 1, 2, 3, backside 1 and 2. All my kids have to learn the concepts so they know where they are in the formation. So if they are the play side 1 or the play side 2, yes, we will tag some things and get a little bit more elaborate from game plan to game plan. But bottom line is we're going to run curl slide or curl flat. We're going to run 3-man scat or a version of hitch corner flat. We're going to run shallow cross. We're going to run the flood play. And then we may run either a mesh or a 4 vertical play. But we're going to try and keep our concepts simple. Because we are no huddle, we want it to be communicated in 1 to 2 words, and we want it to be things that can move the chains and attack coverages. Keep in mind what your offensive philosophy is. You can't do everything well. You can't do everything that everybody does on Saturday or Sunday. Remember, we play on Friday night, so teach your kids Friday night concepts, and don't worry about Saturday and Sunday concepts because we don't always have those players. Okay? As always, make sure those kids can play fast. They won't play good if they don't play fast.